Hello everyone, here we want to talk about the sum function, product function, and the sum product function in the Microsoft Excel. These are simple functions but have lots of applications. And the sum function is the simplest function in Microsoft Excel that calculate the total of some numbers in the Excel. So if I wanted to know what is the summation of these values, I just need to use the sum function, and then I need to enter the range of the values in the sum function. Also, I can enter these values manually in the function, but this is a hard thing to do, but you can do that. And also you can key in each of these cells by using the comma, and or for example you can calculate the summation of this array with 2 commas by selecting these 2 arrays separately in the sum function. Also, there is another thing you need to know is the short key for the sum function is the Alt equal in the keyboard. So if you press Alt and equal key in the keyboard in the same time, then you can see the sum function will be entered automatically in the cells of the Excel, and it will find the array you want to make a summation based on the nearest values. So for example, if you use Alt equal key in the keyboard, for example in this cell, it will find these 2 values which are the nearest values to this function. And you need to remember that if you use the Alt equal keyboard, it will just find the values that are all numbers, and it will stop at the first value which is not number. So for example, if you have empty cell here and then you use the Alt equal short key in your keyboard, it will just find these value and it will not go up until the first one. So you need to remember that if you have the empty cells in the middle of your range, maybe using this short key will not be the best choice for you. So this is how sum function works. Another simple function is the product function, which will calculate the multiplication of these values together, and it will calculate these value products. So for example, if you use product function here and you enter these 2 values to this function, it will calculate the multiplication of the value number 1 to value number 2, and it will be equal to 2. So it will calculate these multiplication here. And another function is the sum product function that calculate the summation of the product of these 2 arrays. So for example, by using this sum product function, it will goes and calculate the multiplication of these 2 values together and equal to 2, and then these 2 together, which is equal to 4, and it will calculate all these products and then use the summation function to calculate the summation of these multiplication, which is equal to 289. So by using this sum product function and entering these 2 arrays, it will calculate the summation of the product of each of these cells together. Also, you can enter another arrays up until 255 arrays to these cells. So for example, you can use the 3rd array. If you use this 3rd array, it will calculate the product of this row and then product of this row until the end of this array, and then calculate the summation. So it's just equal to using this product function here for these 3 cells, and then calculate product for all these rows, and then using the sum function. So this is how this sum product works. Also, we have another sum function. Actually, we have lots of sum function in the Microsoft Excel. We have sum if and sum is. which are very important functions that we will talk about these two functions in the next video. But we have, for example, SUMSQ, which will calculate each of these cells to the power 2 and then make a summation. So for example, if you use SUMSQ here and then use it, for example, for this row, you will have this value. It's just equal to make each of these cells to the power 2, calculate each of these power 2 values, and then make the summation here, for example. So these two is equal. And then another useful sum is sum x2 my2, which is good for statisticians. So by using this sum x2 m2, it will calculate the power 2 of this array and power 2 of this array, and will calculate the difference of these power 2 values. So it's just equal to using, for example, make this one to the power 2 and then calculate it for all these values, and then calculate the difference between this first value, which is the power 2 of this value, and minus this value, which is power 2 of this value, and then use it for all of this and then make a summation. So we can have the sum x2 m2 for this array and this array. So it's calculate just like that. And then another one is sum x2 p2, which add the power 2 of this value to power 2 of this value. So for example, by using this function, we calculate this value, which is power 2 of this value, plus this value, which is power 2 of this value, and then it will calculate it for all of this and make a summation. So if I use sum x2 py2 for this array and this array, I will have this value just with one simple function. And the last one, which is the sum x my2, will calculate the difference between these two values and then make it to power 2, and will calculate this value for all of these cells and then make a summation. So for example, here I just need to calculate the minus of these two, make a b2 minus c2, and then make it to the power 2. And after I calculate this one, I will have to calculate for all of these cells and then make a summation, which just is equal to using the sum x my2 for array 1 and array 2. So we have the same numbers with just using this one function. These are useful function for statisticians. So this is the sum function in the Excel file. We will talk about the sum if and sum ifs in the next video. Until next video, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diaco Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diaco.co.uk.